My name's Dr. Kibiwat Koima from Baringo County. I'm here with my friend here to discuss political issues in Kenya. I hope the discussion will be okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Once again, I'm also happy to be here. My name is Gino Maura. I come from Embu County, that is in Eastern Province, and I'm here for a political discussion about Kenya, and I hope we will enjoy our time here together. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Engineer. So today we have a topic we want to discuss about Kenya, and the issue is the current political issues in Kenya. Everyone knows the situation in Kenya today, as by now, that we have a lot of chaos by the young generation, and we are coming here to discuss the current political issues in Kenya, its root cause, and the impacts that are actually it has caused in terms of economy and political issues. And I want to give this time to Engineer Maura to start discussing the current political issues in Kenya very well, to state very well the root causes. Most of these things are not one stop. So we want to know what are the root cause of the situation we have today, economic situation we have today since independence, and what has it impacted on Kenyans' economy and political issues. Welcome, Engineer Maura.
Okay, thank you very much. As you have heard the introduction, it is true that Kenya and many African countries could be having some issues here and there. But the question which we need to ask ourselves is, are people justified to complain on their current political issues? That is a big question we need to ask ourselves. Right from our founding fathers, when we came from colonialism around 60 years ago to now, we have been receiving some tremendous changes and some small changes. But are they physically enough where people are comfortable and to say that things are good for them? That is a big question we need to ask ourselves. And the truth of the matter is that in Kenya, there have always been those issues which we have refused to handle as a people, especially when it comes to opportunities and the distribution of resources. Because you always see that there is that problem whereby we still have a very big group which is left aside. And I think there is a very troublesome trajectory which we have as a country, and we must have to think how we are going to solve it as a people. Otherwise, our country could be ending up into the wrong trajectory if we don't make a robust decision now. So I think our young people, we need to think with them. Thank you.
Oh, so thank you so much, Njiru. I think given me, let me just start by saying the root cause of this problem started a long time ago. If I can remember, during independence, there was this slogan called eradication of ignorance, diseases, and poverty. That was a very good start, because for a country to develop in terms of economy, people have to be healthy. People have to go to school, and they stop of people are not poor. So the start was very good. It goes very well up 1970s, 1980s. The problem now started beating us 1990s, when it came to what we call structural adjustment programs. In other words, we are saying we are being now infiltrated by external factors like IMF policies, like World Bank policies, where they now begin what you call indirect ruling now. I remember 1990s when SAP started, African countries were told to do privatization liberalization, and free market economy. You cannot compare yourself with Western countries, which became industrialized in 18 something, 17 something. So when they say free market, it means we can have their products, manufactured products, because we cannot compete, and become the use and destroy the industries in Kenya. So the issue of retrenchment, the issue of removal of agricultural subsidies. I remember countries like Malawi, it was driven to poverty because of this removal of subsidies. Those are IMF policies. Even other countries were told to devalue their currencies, like Nigeria. So I can tell you that one of the problems we have are external policies that are being imposed to us. And that one has totally destroyed our industries. There is no industries going on in Kenya. So it comes out what we call the products, the students now, the young people now. I taught at the university, and I found that people these days are no longer motivated. Students are no longer, because when it comes to jobs, when they clear the school, there are no jobs. They are seeing their friends, they are seeing their sisters, they are seeing their brothers. Down the line, 40 years and below, nobody, no employment. 90% of the graduates have no jobs. So they have been seeing their fathers. Even this generation said, they have been seeing their genes said, they have been seeing their fathers, tamaking, no jobs. And then they are now seeing the reality now. So they have come out in protest. This, I can say, they have said enough is enough. So from all these things of the economy, it has now reached what we call a maximum point, the yield point, where they can now start and asking questions. Why? Well, why is nothing working in Kenya? And let me just tell you another thing also you need to also understand. I can say that this is not one person. I don't agree to label all these problems to one person. It is progressive, it is cumulative. We need to start from 1960s, 70s, 80s, and all the progressive precedents we have been having from independence. But if you single to one person and say, no, this mismanagement by one person, that's not correct. I don't support that one. So actually, what we need to do now is what we call Kenyan policies, not foreign policies. That's what's affecting Kenya. So that we can channel our money to industries, you see. So in fact, even in Western countries, you find that almost 70% of the employment, or to 80, is actually industry based, not government. Government employ very few people. So for Kenya to develop, we need to have what we build industries to assist us to carry most of this employment we are seeing today. One thing which I can also, before I finish, I give to Marua, is the issue of, let me give an example of policies I'm talking about. There's what they call MDGs, Millennium Development Goals. We are given those development goals. Up to it was up to 2015. They were saying water for all these stories, but nothing was successful. From 2007 to 2015, nothing. Millennium Development Goals. They were saying water for all these things, nothing. Number two, when they found that those are foreign policies. Number two, and they are telling you that you must budget alongside what? MDGs. They came now with what we call SDGs. 17-point agenda, 232 targets. We are now in 2024. Vision 2030, nothing. So what do you need to do now? And they are telling you, align your budget to SDGs. Align your budget to MDGs. So all these things are progressive. So we need to sit at Kenyans and need radical change. Up to even changing the constitution. Let me tell you another thing also. Another problem which takes our money, expenditure. Can you imagine too much representation? Can you imagine having 349 MPs? Can you imagine? Too many commissions. If you add too many commissions, boards of parastatals, Senate, women reps, what are they doing? You have a ministry and then there are boards. What are they doing? And we have the MD, you have the CEO. We have the commissions. What are they doing? Privatization commission, what are they doing? Police service commission, what are they doing? And those are the guys who earn a lot of money. So if we remove all those things and focus on building industries, we're going to solve the problem of unemployment in Kenya. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Back to Njiru.
Thank you very much. You know, those issues, Bwana Koima, you have said, they are very patent. But the question which I always ask myself is, we always have very good points where we say that we understand the problem of Kenya. But how comes that there is no one who is willing to tackle the problem of Kenya in a way which resonates with the masses? Like, for example, we have had like this issue of finance bill, which has just come up. And we heard that majority of the people, although we are hearing it is Gen Z, I'm double sure that even masses everywhere, there is a likelihood that they are not in support of this bill for now, in terms of how it is. Why is it that the government is not willing maybe to ask for either a consulted plan where some of the things in the finance bill, they can be changed, or what are they doing in terms of that? So there is a problem. And again, there is another thing which I always ask myself. In Africa or in Kenya, our country, because we always say that Kenya is a beacon in Africa for many issues, how is it that we have been unable to root out corruption? Because sometimes some of these things which we always talk, they end up in corruption. Sometimes we could be having a very good finance bill, but at the end of the day, there are some in-kind money which has been put in that budget which will end up in corruption. Some time back, one of the presidency acknowledged that we were losing 2 billion per day. And no one even paid any attention to where some of this budgeted corruption goes as our country. And that time when we are losing this money to corruption, our youths are not even being financed properly, even in institution of education. They are not being financed well, even in places whereby we can be able to recoup finances. So the question which I ask myself, like for example, we had this voting of finance bill, and we got 204 versus 115. Yes versus no. Who is right? Are people right? Are the members of parliament right? That is a question we need to ask. And where does representation come from? So at what level can the MP go against the will of the people? Those are the things which we need to ask ourselves. Even in Western world, members of parliament, they always listen to what people are saying in the ground. And now you can now start seeing that division between the legislature and the people who are representing and the people they are representing is causing division. To the extent now, even the members of parliament are now receiving animosity from people from the general crowd, which is not very good. So it means leaders and people are pushing on two political divide. And what are we going to receive from this? We are going to receive a very politicized country. Things are not going to happen. This finance bill is going to be delayed because we are not agreeing on anything. And the question which we need to ask ourselves, are these views wrong? I don't think they are entirely wrong. They have information, they have knowledge, they have so much information, but the problem is that our leaders are not able to sit down and understand the current situation. Sometimes I don't know why leaders get alienated to the issues when they get into power. You remember, like for example, when UDA was getting to power, they brought a lot of hope to people. They said that they are going to solve all the current issues which we were having at the time. Many people agreed that Kenyatta administration and so many problems, and UDA confirmed that they had to solve all those problems. I do not understand where UDA could have changed their trajectory, or they are not able to explain to people enough what are some of the issues which they are doing to Kenya. 2 years down the line, I've not seen their infrastructure in terms of solving unemployment, bringing issues which can make people have an inclusive government. We have seen places whereby they have even nominated people or even put people into jobs who do not understand what they are doing. And that is the problem of everything. And you need to know, even the time when Obama was in Kenya in July 2015, he said, any person who doesn't understand what he's doing in an institution and he brings corruption, he is eating job for another person. So I do not understand why we are to put people who have no experience or people who have questionable character into high institutions of honor. Like you can look to our current cabinet now. Do we agree with all the cabinet who we have? They are good people. Some of them, they don't have character. Some of them have questionable issues. And I think that has been the genesis of a problem, whereby when we put people into work, we put them as a point of reward other than as a point of working for the people. And I think moving forward, UDA is going to have a rough time in Kenya, because some of the things they are trying to explain to Kenyans have a lot of information, including these Gen Zs. They have learned a lot, they can Google, they understand what is happening. And I think this is a time whereby UDA as a government has to sit down and think how they are going to bring measures which work for the people. It is no longer business as usual. It is not in the 90s or in 2000 where you could lie to the masses and still people, you come and say that, give me another term. I want to tell you, come 2027, Mr. William Ruto, the president, will have to explain his scorecard in an explainable version. Otherwise, if he will not be able to explain that, he is beckoning on a one term if he doesn't think well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Njiru Mwaura. In fact, you have said well, but as much as I agree with you, every situation, there should be professionalism. That's number one. Because I was worked in government, and I know very well that most of this Constitution 2010 is very professional, very technical. Like even finance bill, budget cycle, and all those things are actually very technical. So they require people who understand these issues very well. That's very good. So for its implementation, that's okay. Another thing which is very important is corruption. That you need to root out corruption completely. Because if I also heard if somebody said we are losing 2 billion per day, that's a lot of money, which could actually build an industry very well, which can employ almost 200 people. If you can build a factory like a factory or a fruit factory, a fruitation, it can employ so many people. That's very good. So that's okay. As I said earlier, which actually we need to discuss and agree very well, Jiru, is the issue of this thing is not one stop. It is actually progressive in nature. The economic situation in Kenya now is not good. It's not good. And if we continue this way, we behave normally. If we behave normally, things will be abnormal, the way somebody said. This is a time now we require radical change to ensure that we put things in order. If actually what was said is true, if our budget today is only to pay debt and salaries, then there's a serious problem.
We are doomed before start.
There's a problem. So in fact, I don't agree. That's why I don't agree with you that it is William Ruto per se. No, this thing is progressive. We start from start with the gas from a long time ago. So it is requires radical change. And now the youth now have come in and say yes, we have stayed for too long. Our brothers have no jobs for too long. We are not seeing future. What do we do? So what I can say is this: somebody last time, because Ruto was the deputy president, that thing called the Big Four agenda was very good. That was very nice, because that was the beginning of industrialization. And we need to review our policies to see that where is our money being channeled to? Why are we paying? Why is 70% of the budget of the budget going to debt? In other words, we are saying we are toiling day and night to pay money to foreign countries. We don't sleep to pay IMF loan. We don't sleep to pay World Bank loan. We don't sleep to pay Chinese loan. And I want to tell you that this thing didn't start with Ruto. So what we need to do now is to do the radical change. Say, yes, we stop paying this loan, and then we do other things. So to actually make a kickstart the economy. And another thing was if I was to advise His Excellency the President, is that this is a time now he needs to listen. Listen to this young man. These are the honors of technology, my friend. If they could prepare a walkie-talkie, police are using obsolete radio call. You see, these ones they are using walkie-talkie apps in what? In their phones. Their technology is high. In other words, we are saying these are the people with a lot of knowledge. They want now to implement the knowledge. So we need now to listen to these people. We listen to everybody. And another thing which is very important is for the president to talk to some of there's some guys who just say who speak, I can say trash or what I call it. This is a time now we need to listen and speak good. Remember, engineer, 2022, there was what to call voter apathy.
Correct.
And we realized that those guys who are not voting were the youth. We're saying, why are they not voting? Why are they not voting? Why are they not voting? They didn't vote.
Now they are demonstrating.
Now they are demonstrating. So we need now to, we need now to listen because one, although I don't know the force behind it, who has sponsored these people, I don't know, but the issue is, we need now to start listening and actually to see what we can do, so that we can stay together, be focused, and able to realign our budgets to development and to build industries for employment to occur in Kenya. Otherwise, even if who comes, Wananjiru, you know you criticize Ruto very much, but let me tell you, it doesn't matter who will come. If you don't solve the economic problem, the same budgets we are seeing now, isn't it? And remember, MPs, they are voting because if they don't pass the finance bill, they will not get salary. They will not get the money they are using in parliament to move around with helicopters and CDF.
I know they are voting because of CDF. So maybe Bwana Koima to handle briefly about the reason why these youths are demonstrating. In the recent past, we have gotten a parliament where both the government and opposition, they have become one, technically.
Yes.
So the people have known who is representing them, and you know that. Because when government is introducing anything, even things which are anti-people, and almost all members of parliament support that, what do you expect? There is a radical group which will just come up from nowhere, and those people start fighting for themselves. I think that is the problem which is there. People might want to look for the sponsors of these issues which are happening in Kenya. But there's something I wanted to confirm here also. In 2011, when the Arab Spring started, when that guy from Tunisia burnt himself, he was a young man, 24 years. It brought all young people into the streets, and they demonstrated for over 3 months, and 6 governments collapsed in the Arab nation. So what I wanted to confirm here is that when you see young people coming out, it is usually the beginning of the end to anything. It is you either sit down with them quickly, you assemble something quickly with them, or you are beckoning to very murky waters moving forward. And that's the things which I want to tell you here. You said I criticize Ruto. To some extent, I criticize him because at some times I don't see some of his policies being very, very much for people, because we have seen him like being too much entertaining to the Western countries. You have seen in the recent past He is busy sweet talking Americans. He is just going all over. I even heard in the social media, there is even one public member who even called him an air hostess. They don't understand if he is a president or an air hostess. And we do not understand why a president, would have 68 trips within the global country, and we do not see the real of substance. And when he got into power, he was very Pan-African, Kaunda man. But suddenly he changed that policy, and we have seen him just going to the west. You talked about those foreign issues which do not make sense, but I don't know why he is still so much pro-West or pro-other countries. We do not understand. He was the first president who was actually supposed to bring a pro-Kenyan agenda, but he came and sank into the same Western issues which have killed us for so long. And I think that is an issue which he needs to sit down and think about it. He was pro-African, but he has changed trajectory. And since he changed trajectory, he is lost.
Good, thank you so much, Jiru. Let me just summarize by saying, you have a right. You have a right to criticize the president or anybody in power. But let me tell you, we are missing the point. I remember 1992, 1990s. There were two things which were very serious. Moi must go, change constitution. By 2002, Moi went. Kibaki came in. And Moi went, and then they changed the constitution. People were seeing in the 90s that the problem was Moi and constitution. It was changed. What happened? Was there any significant improvement in unemployment, economy? No. By 2007, Kibaki remained. In fact, Kibaki raised. In fact, the taxation started with Kibaki. He raised revenue from 200 million to 900 million. But by 2007, it was 41 versus 1. You see, was Kibaki the problem? Uhuru was the same. Ruto is now the same, which means we need to think critically and get the root cause of Kenya, not individuals. Thank you. I think we can summarize. Just summarize.
Okay. Thank you for a wonderful discussion here. I think we will have a session B because there is too much to discuss. But I'm really happy that we have been able to touch some of the issues which are ailing Kenya. And I'm happy for your time. And thank you, Bwana Koima. And I look forward to more discussions with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Asante.
How is it, Bwana?